I've never been to a proper fashion school or to a good roadside tailor to learn how to cut and sew. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I was able to upgrade my skill as a fashion designer without going to a fashion school. So if you love to sew and you really want to upgrade your skill, but you don't have the means to do that, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you effective ways on how to upgrade your skill without going to a fashion school. So whether you are a beginner or you have been sewing for a while, watch this video till the end because it is going to help you to upgrade your skill and also become better at what you do. So first of all, before you go ahead to start thinking of upgrade or learning how to cut and sew, you need to have the right tools. You need to invest in the right tools. You need to invest in the right tools like your scissors, your tape rule, your pins, your masking tape, your pattern papers. You really need your pattern papers if you really want to go for an upgrade or you want to upgrade your skill, because having your pattern paper is going to help you to practice your drafting very well before moving over to cutting on your fabric. And also you need practice fabrics. You can simply go to the market and get cheap fabrics that you can be using to practice whatever you are going to be learning, because going to learn something without practicing it is going to be like a wasted effort. And you also need your rulers. You need your French curve, your pattern master, your straight ruler, and all that. If you cannot afford to get the complete set of rulers, you can simply go for the pattern master, because with the pattern master you can do so many things whenever you are drafting your patterns. The next and most important tools you need before going for an upgrade or as a fashion designer is your sewing machine. Without a sewing machine, the journey is going to be frustrating for you. To be sincere with you, it is going to be frustrating because after learning how to cut and all that, there will be no sewing machine for you to put everything together. So it is important to invest in a sewing machine. So if you cannot afford to get a brand new sewing machine, you can go for a fairly used. If you cannot afford an industrial sewing machine, you can simply go for a manual sewing machine. And if you cannot afford a machine at all at the moment, what I advise you to do is to look for a fashion designer in your environment, build a relationship with them so that whenever you need their help with a sewing machine, you can simply have access to it. So these are the important tools you need to invest on before you start thinking of learning how to sew or going for your upgrade. Once you have your tools ready, the next thing you need to do is to learn the basics online. There are tons of free tutorials available on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok. And one thing I love about this platform is that they offer step-by-step tutorials on almost everything, starting from tape reading, how to take accurate body measurements, how to use a sewing machine, how to draft a basic bodice, and all that. So you can learn the basics online. If you are learning from a roadside tailor and you are really not understanding what your boss is doing, go and learn online. That was what I did when I started learning how to sew. I learned from someone that cannot really express himself. He is good at what he does, but he cannot really tell you why he's taking this measurement from this point to this point. So when I wasn't really understanding what he was doing, I had to go and learn on Facebook. So learning on Facebook enabled me to understand what he was doing, and I also learned how to take accurate measurements whenever I'm cutting on my fabric. So learning on social media platforms like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and even Instagram is going to help you to learn the basics, and you will learn and understand everything perfectly. So learning on this platform is going to help you to learn at your own pace, and you can also focus on learning what you want to learn at that particular time. As a beginner, I'll advise you to start from the basics, then go ahead to start taking up challenging tasks. So learning on social media is going to open your eyes to many things, and you will learn different methods. For instance, if you want to learn how to cut a pencil skirt, you can go on YouTube and watch different tutorial on how to cut a pencil skirt, because everybody has his method. You can simply go ahead to watch different videos of how to make the pencil skirt. From each video, learn one method from them, then go ahead to match everything together and start applying that whenever you want to make a pencil skirt for yourself. So this was how I was able to learn the basics online. The next step is to practice. One of the best ways to upgrade your sewing skill is to consistently practice. Consistently practicing is going to help you to keep on improving on your skill as a fashion designer. So if you try it the first time and you didn't get it right, keep trying it until you get it right. And also make sure you perfect a particular thing before you move to the next one. For instance, if you're a beginner, make sure that you are perfect with the basic bodies before you move over to learning something else. Doing this is going to make the next phase not to be too difficult for you, because once the foundation is very firm, taking up bigger challenges is not going to be a problem for you as a fashion designer. So I will advise you start by taking up smaller projects, like learning how to draft the basic bodies, how to cut and sew a basic skirt. Once you are good at that, then you can gradually challenge yourself to take up bigger tasks. But you need to practice if you really want to upgrade your skill as a fashion designer. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is pattern. You need to learn how to make a pattern. You need to understand pattern drafting, because understanding how to draft a pattern is going to prevent you from making mistake on your fabric. Because when you draft on your pattern first, you're going to look at it and see if there is any mistakes. You can easily correct it before going to cut on your fabric. And also, pattern drafting is going to help you to be able to convert your normal basic bodies to any style. Because once you understand your basic bodies very well, once you understand how to draft a basic bodies perfectly well, you can easily convert that basic bodies to a bustier, to a corset, or any dress you want. So you need to understand pattern drafting very well. There are so many tutorials on YouTube on how to draft pattern, and there are so many methods on how to draft a basic bodies online for you to go and learn how to read patterns, understand patterns very well before you move over to cutting and sewing your fabric. Another important thing you need to learn how to do if you really want to upgrade your skill is how to analyze a style. Don't just go ahead and start cutting a style. For instance, this blouse I'm currently putting on, I got the inspiration from Miss Prudence. I saw the blouse, I loved it, and I had to go and look for the video of the blouse. I zoom it in very well to see if this yoke and the blouse are together or if they are not together and all that. I had to do a lot of analysis. I had to draft my patterns like 3 times before I was able to get it right. I even had to go up on YouTube to look for the style. I wasn't seeing it on YouTube, so I had to analyze it, and I was able to recreate it, and the video is even up on the channel. So if you have not watched the video, simply go and check my previous tutorial. You will see the tutorial on how to make this beautiful bustier blouse with a drop shoulder yoke. It is very simple, detailed, and beginner friendly. So back to the main business of the day, which is how to upgrade your skill. So you need to learn to analyze a style before you go ahead to start making it. So if you are not sure of the style, you can ask for help from other fashion designers. Style analysis should be one of the things you should learn as a fashion designer. So the next thing to learn if you really want to upgrade your sewing skill is to master the act of knit finishing. The difference between a beginner and a professional garment is the finishing. Learn how to finish your seam so that whenever somebody sees the dress, it will look like it came out from a boutique. Learn how to use the different finishing method, like the French finishing, the inseam finishing, how to finish with bias, how to finish necklines with facing and all that. Learning these finishing techniques is going to make your work to look neat and come out looking nice. Another thing you need to learn how to do whenever you are sewing is you need to learn how to cut off hanging thread. Whenever you are done sewing, check the dresses very well to see if there's any part you need to finish. Do not rush your work whenever you are sewing. Rushing is going to make you come out with a lot of mistakes. So whenever you are making a dress, take your time to make it so that after making it, everything will come out perfect and you don't have to go back to start loosening it again to correct your mistakes. And again, if you are sewing and you observe any mistake, stop and correct that mistake. We are fond of overlooking mistake and finishing the dress, then you come back to start losing the dress again to correct what you were supposed to correct while you were sewing it. So if you discover any mistake, make sure you correct that mistake before moving to the next step. Do not skip any process, because if you skip process when sewing, you will still come back to correct that. So it is important to take your time to sew a dress whenever you are making the dress. And the next thing you need to do to upgrade your skill as a fashion designer is to join sewing groups. Join groups on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and even on YouTube. Follow designers that are good at what they are doing and learn from them, because these designers most times post tutorials, they post style analysis, they also share tips on how to grow as a fashion designer. So if you are a fashion designer and you are on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, and you are busy following other celebrities that are not adding value to your skill, it's time to stop that and follow people that will help you to grow as a fashion designer. There are so many groups on Facebook you can join, and you can also make friends from those groups. You can easily run to whenever you are having a challenge making a particular type of dress. You can meet people on Facebook, connect with them, and grow your skill as a fashion designer. Last but not the least, do not be afraid of experimenting whatever you have learned. Everybody you see started as a beginner, so don't be scared of taking the bold step of experimenting the things you have learned. Whatever you have learned, experiment it, wear your designs, and let people know what you are doing. So guys, these are some of the things you can use to upgrade your skill as a fashion designer. The social media is there for you to upgrade your skill. If you cannot go to a fashion school, pay for online classes, invest in watching YouTube tutorials, and practice whatever you have learned. So if you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe if you are yet to, and also don't forget to let me know how you were able to upgrade and improve your sewing skill as a fashion designer in the comment section. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.